Hello, my name is Jasmine Garrity, and I am a Youth Tobacco Program Coordinator for the Marin County Tobacco Control Program and Marin Healthy Youth Partnerships. Today, I'm going to talk about tobacco policy on behalf of the nonprofit Bay Area Community Resources. Bay Area Community Resources' mission is to promote the healthy development of individuals and families, encourage service and volunteerism, and to help build community in the Bay Area. I hope you find this video helpful, and please reach out with any additional questions, comments, or concerns. So today we're going to go through all of these key concepts. We're going to talk briefly about the history of tobacco, some of the current federal policies that exist in tobacco control, some of the California state policies, and some of the tobacco policies here locally in Marin County. Then we will talk about the tobacco policy goals and the agenda for tobacco control and some of the resources available. So here is a little brief history of tobacco control. So as you know, people have been smoking traditional cigarettes for hundreds of years. And it wasn't until 1950 that the first British medical journal published a study that revealed the possible link between smoking and cancer. In 1964, another British doctor's study was released, and it confirmed this correlation between smoking tobacco and cancer. In 1964, the United States Surgeon General also confirmed this linkage, and that was a monumental moment because it changed tobacco policy history in the general public because they began to view tobacco and smoking cigarettes in a negative way. In 1994, there was over 800 lawsuits filed against the tobacco industry, which led up to the Multi-State Settlement Agreement, or MSA for short. Under the Master Settlement Agreement, 7 tobacco companies agreed to change the way they market tobacco products and to pay the states an estimated of $206 billion and finance $1.5 billion towards anti-smoking campaigns. For example, the Truth Initiative ultimately spun off of this. They opened previously secret documents from the industry and disbanded the industry trade groups, which the Attorney General maintained, and conspired to concealing damaging research from the public. The initial policies that happened is that we saw more policies that started to restrict smoking in public places and began to develop a full rollout. And it included some of the policies listed here, having smoking and non-smoking sections at restaurants, banned smoking on airplanes, having smoke-free workplaces, and banning tobacco advertising. They also started the movement of having smoke-free bars. So it began this movement towards smoking inconvenience. Some of the various federal policies that went into effect during this rollout was the initial one started with the 2009 FSPTCA policy, which prohibited cigarette manufacturers from selling flavored cigarette products with the exception of menthol. There are a lot of policies that are at the federal level, but we're going to just look at some of the more recent ones. So more recently than that, the federal government passed a Tobacco 21 policy, which became effective immediately, raising the minimum age for purchasing tobacco products to 21 years old. Another policy that was recently passed due to the exponential increase in youth vaping rates was a ban on flavored pod-based vaping products. Some of the state policies that we have here in California, we have passed a Tobacco 21 policy already. We do have a Lee law, which is another policy that's focused on decreasing storefront advertising. And although it's not a tobacco-specific policy, it can allude to a decrease in tobacco, alcohol, and unhealthy food marketing on storefronts. Only 33% of storefront windows are allowed to be covered in marketing materials, and many tobacco companies pay to have their advertisements in storefront windows. There's additionally the California smoke-free air laws And these policies include things like smoke-free spaces in hallways of apartment complexes, and you're not allowed to smoke in a car with a minor. We also have the California workplace smoking restrictions, and there's a whole list of guidelines around smoke-free workplaces. Some of the local policies that we have here, we actually, in Marin County, we have 12 different jurisdictions. So each city is allowed to make their own tobacco policies. Many of our cities have tobacco retail licenses, except one. We also have additionally smoke-free pharmacies. The idea of a smoke-free pharmacy is to eliminate the connection between tobacco products and healthcare. We also have some multi-unit housing restrictions. So of our 12 jurisdictions, we have 5 that are still in the process of increasing their percentages to reach the goal of 100% protection for all residents in multi-unit housing. These 5 communities currently provide protection to 75% or 85% of their residents in multi-unit housing complexes. We also have a localized Lee law in various cities here in Marin County, and this decreases the percentage of advertising space allowed to cover the windows of liquor and grocery stores. And this can decrease youth exposure to unhealthy foods and harmful substances, such as alcohol and tobacco products, as well as provide more safety for law enforcement to have an unobstructed view inside the store. So here are some of the tobacco policy goals that we have. So tobacco policy, a public health goal is to eliminate the consumption and use of tobacco products to create a healthier environment through policies, which are initiatives designed to change permanently the structural, political, and social dynamics that sustain the tobacco epidemic in order to end it within a specific time frame. So if you can see here, many people totally agree and want to move forward on restrictive policies to gradually remove the sales of tobacco products. Here's a list of resources if you would like to learn more about the local and statewide tobacco prevention and cessation services available from various organizations. Thank you so much for tuning in.